All right, I got about 18% battery life on this cell phone, so I want to do one more project tonight, and that's going to be, let's see what we can do with just this section of the rub rail. It got beat up pretty bad. There's no like big chunks that are taken out of it, just this pitting, and it got scratched to hell in the dock, obviously. I've done a couple repairs on these in the past using sandpaper and a heat gun, but I've never really taken time to do it well. So I've often wondered, number one, sanding it down first. So maybe I'll start with like 60 grit or 80 grit and transition it up to about 400. Then hit it with a heat gun to try to blend it. And if not, even stopping at 400 grit, and then I might just tape everything off all the way around, just plastic and tape it, the whole ski off, and give it a really good cleaning and treat it with some spray and bed liner. Another guy on YouTube did that about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, and man, it looked great. It is on his back bumper sections, but it looked really good. So let's see what we can do. I should say the reason that we do this is on these skis in particular. These are the Yamaha Waverunner SUVs. They don't manufacture these rub rails anymore. You can't buy these new anymore. You like one every 2-3 years might pop up or something like that for us on the forums, but super hard to find replacements that are the correct length for this ski without having to piece them together. So I figure it's about time that since I love these skis, it's time that I learn how to repair these and make them look good. So this would be a heck of a lot easier if I just used my my sander, but let's just try it by hand at first. We'll start with some 80s, then 120s, 240s, and I'll finish up after 240 with this 400. Not sure if I'm going to use it all dry or wet. We'll see how loaded up this this paper actually gets before I decide how to handle that best. Let's see if I'm in frame right about there. So let's try this section. This is 80 grit. So this is the rub rail insert along this third of an inch middle, and then that just pops in along a channel. Try to do this without scraping up too much of the ski itself. So I got a light to a medium grip on this right now. I don't want to go too deep, but I want to take those deeper scratches out. Get a uniform surface on there. I really think that the spray and bed liner might work well for restoring this stuff, or covering it up. Plus it's easy to patch that. I'll spray a little bit more on the patch up, right? I won't do much of the underside right now. It wraps around to about an inch underneath. The underside's really in good condition, never gets hit. Anyway. So this hopefully will solve your curiosity as far as what grit is it going to take if I actually spend a little bit of time on my rub rail. I'm not afraid to ruin mine. You might be a little bit more finicky on your ski. Hopefully my big head isn't in your way too bad. Let's pan back a little bit on this. There we go. So it's scratching it pretty deep, but it did remove every bit of what we had there as far as blemishes. Try to make it uniform. And by starting out uniform, then the finish should look good. I would definitely suggest going in this direction, linear, especially with these heavier grit sandpapers. Let's use that as our test piece. Alright. Yeah. Squirt a little W-Dex on there just to see where we're starting at. And I did a little poor man's drone flyby for you. Alrighty. So basically that's what it looked like. And then now it's doled out, but that 80 grit put a nice even scratch along there, right? And then that's where we stop. So now I'm going to transition onto some lighter duty sandpaper. Yeah, we'll do the 120 and then the 240 next. And I am not going to subject you to watching me sand this whole thing. It'll be a long video for nothing. So I'll just do it and then show you the finished result, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on sanding. So I did transition on this 120 to a wet sand. You can see the scum buildup on there. That was getting embedded in the paper, and it would have shut that paper down pretty quick. So wet sanding this is working really, really well. The 80 didn't seem to need it as badly. It wasn't loading up, but this seems to be really, really working nicely on this 120. Just make sure and get in there all over the place so that we don't have any deep gouges, because I do want to hit this with heat as a last step to melt it all together again. And I think we're going to come out with a halfway decent looking rub rail in the end if we sand it properly. Okay, so I spent about 2 to 3 minutes or so on 120 on that 2-foot section. Alright, unfortunately my cell phone's getting close to dying, so my flash isn't going to work anymore. So there is 120 grit. I mean, coming out a heck of a lot better than it looked previously, like that if you ask me. It's just not shiny, but it will be. Then this is about 1 minute with 240. It was not feeling like it was taking much material, that's for sure. I'll hit it with 400 and be done, and then I'll heat it. All right, and then 400, again, it almost didn't do anything to it. So, you know, make the grains, I guess, since we started at 80 are really small. I mean, you can see as it dries up, it's gonna gray out. So if I was to do the whole rub rail, I'd probably, after I get done sanding with 400, I'd probably take a pressure washer and make sure I got into these grooves right here, the gap between the rub rail insert and the actual rub rail really well to get all that goop out of there. I mean, it's just Windex and rubber, but it's going to heat together and remelt together. So let's grab the heat gun and see what happens. Hopefully my video doesn't die in the middle of this bit before I have any fruit from it. So I've used a torch on this before. A torch is a little hard to control, and sometimes you get a brown edge on your actual fiberglass. So if you do use a light actual flame, be real cautious of that. Preheat the area that you're trying to shine up first, and then get deep on it. So by preheating, maybe I should do a small area, like an 8 to 10 inch section at the most. We'll preheat, and then we'll slow down and just kind of paint it, if you will. Once we see one piece start to see, I see a little bit right here starting to change color. Hopefully you can pick that up. So now I know it's ready. I hope that I don't make this thing more brittle in the process. You can almost see where your preheat stops, because it won't be black like this. If I can, I want to get a little shine out of it, a little real true melt. I'll feather it off. Still the black one a little bit. And of course we can either finish this off with one of those wipe-on shiny coatings that you can put on vehicle plastics, or it's now sanded so that it'll definitely take truck bed liner real easy right now. don't see it getting shiny yet, so I don't want to bubble it. Try a different angle here. On the underside, I just got to hit it enough so you can't see it from above, really. You can smell it burning a little bit. I'll slow down and try to shine it up. There, melting. So how long this will stay like this, as far as the color, I have no idea. Or as soon as it hits the sun, is it just going to gray out again? I have no idea, you guys. Put me in the comments if you tried this and how long it took the gray back out. So it'd probably take you a good hour and a half to do an entire SUV rub rail, I would say, but I would say the end result should be worth it, especially when they're all chipped up like this one was. That's about the end of our sanding repair there. Come on, cell phone, hold on a little bit longer for the final flyby. Probably gets in that shine at the bottom. Separating. So I see it bulging out right there. I'm going to go ahead and stop. So once you get past the point where it is, wow, is that ever bulging? I'll go ahead and hold that down while it cools. Let's do a little liquid cooling here. We went a little bit too far on that one. It's good to have on video anyway of what happens if you go a little bit too far, I guess. So it's, the material gets a little stretched, I guess. And hopefully it will just shrink back down. I'm sure it will. Yeah, I went a little bit overboard right there. I'll show you that net result. It's not pretty. This is good to have on video. So, all right, let me dry that off. All right, so we have the before. Then we have the no heat treatment but sanded, and then we have the heated sanded. I'd say that's better. And then as soon as you put that plastic shine stuff on there for cars, but that right there is overheated, and that's where I was trying to get it to actually take a shine, and it kind of separated right there permanently. So careful on that. Yeah, not too bad though. Hope that helps somebody.